Hey everybody! Okay, so I have a little thing. I was like fixing my hair before I came on, because let's be real. And then I was thinking about that thing people say, like, messy hair don't care, beach hair don't care. Yes, they do care. I'm just saying. Hey everybody, thanks for coming on. I'm going on a rant about how people are like, beach hair don't care, messy hair don't care. Yes, you care. The reason you posted a picture is because your hair looks cute. You care. Almost every person I know cares what their hair looks like. I'm just saying. I say almost because I do have some girlfriends, they genuinely don't care what their hair looks like. Oh, I like the messy look. I'm okay with it. But there is a certain way I feel like it needs to look. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it needs to look a certain way, but I'm just kind of sitting here laughing at that messy hair don't care. Can I get an amen to that, right? They're saying messy hair don't care, but you know they care. You know they do. Well. So, sweet Christopher. He had a long day at work today. He went in and did like a later shift. He's in the military. I don't know if y'all know that. So his hours, we find out like less than 24 hours in advance when he works. And anyway, he waited in Chick-fil-A and he said there was a long line. Chick-fil-A need to get it in order. They need to let Jesus take the wheel is all I'm saying. If that Chick-fil-A was taking a long time. But he said the drive-thru took a long time. But he stopped just to give me a sweet tea. I forgot to eat dinner, so I'm going to eat dinner after this. And we'll be having ice cream. Let's be real. I love ice cream. He needs the app, LOL. You know, I've never ordered on the app because technology makes my stomach hurt. Ironically, even though we're on technology now. I have never ordered with the app. And you know I go all the time. I mean, I like show my app and scan my app, but I never order with the app. I always go through drive-thru. Girl, you get free things when you do. Yes, I need that. OMG, I want ice cream. Yes. We currently have Mayfield. I think he got Mayfield cookie dough is in the fridge, in the freezer. I have definitely eaten more, at least half of the half gallon. I mean, it's only a half gallon, right? Isn't that what they are? They're not like full gallons, but anyway, ice cream. I need to ask again. That was one of my questions on a post, on my Instagram post a while back, was like your all's favorite ice cream. I need some more. Bluebell cookie two-step. Babe, have you ever heard of a Bluebell cookie two-step?
Yep.
Is that good?
Yep.
He said yep and yep. It's cookie dough and Oreo mixed. Oh, he knew that, I guess. I love Mayfield brand, but they're a Tennessee company, so they used to only be in Tennessee, but they've actually branched out over the last, goodness. I just remember when I was a kid, and we always had like a yellow milk jug in our fridge, because that was Mayfield, and we'd go to the beach, and I remember asking my mom one time, why do we not have a yellow milk jug here at the beach? And she would be like, they don't have Mayfield here. But anyway, they do now. That's what I'm trying to say. They've got Mayfield in Florida. So way to go, Mayfield, local dairy farmer. Okay, getting it back together. We took Mayfield, if you lived in like the county I lived in, Knox County, woot woot. I think Ashley's on here. She went to Knox County. You went to the Mayfield Dairy Farms, and it was awesome. And we wore hairnets, I'm pretty sure, and I thought that was cool. Wendy says hi.
Hi.
He says hi. I made a face because I thought he went outside. I was like, I think he went outside. Christopher got home from work, and the little neighbor lady was telling him all the things. So, okay. Gotta poof up that hair like Dolly Parton. Closer to Jesus. Okay, here we go. We're going to go now. Hi, everybody who's on here. If you will you drop in the comments where you are watching from? Because I think almost everybody's from a different state. So if you will drop in the comments where you're watching from, that would be awesome. Oh my goodness, that was so long ago. We also always have yellow milk jug. Yes! I love the yellow milk jug. Oh, yes, that was so long ago. Wendy said, I'm watching from my bed in Covington, Georgia. Tanya says Knoxville. Oh, Tanya, hi. And Rebecca says Atlanta. Ashley says Knoxville. We had one more. Hello. Welcome. So we're repping Knoxville and Atlanta right now. And I think we also have another state. One of the Carolinas, maybe. Okay. So I chose 10 random relationship facts. I chose the number before I started writing. I have learned since I shall start writing first, and then I'll just tell you the number, because sometimes it's like 8. But I got 10. We got it. Also, shameless plug. Shameless, yeah. This dog mom shirt, and if you want to see, he's in my little lap. Take care, boy. This dog mom shirt comes to you from Blue Jane Boutique, who I absolutely love. And if you're watching this, because I know people will watch tomorrow and on YouTube, if you're watching this and you are a boutique, I am doing collaborations now. I love to tell my secrets to you all who watch these live videos, because I'll tell you all, like, I watched Ellen today with Taylor Swift on it, and they call them like Easter eggs, you know, they like give them like hints, like foreshadowing hints of what's to come. So your foreshadowing hint that's not super foreshadowing is I'm doing a lot of collaborations now, which are really exciting. And so I have a collaboration in the work, and it's actually with an Etsy shop, which is so exciting. So I can't wait to show you. The cool things I'm finding. Y'all, there are so many great business owners out there, and I'm so excited that I get to rep their brands and show you about them. So I'm really excited. I am starting to break open the lifestyle section of my business and the collaboration section, which I'm really, really excited about. Ooh, boutiques must have bunnies and mermaids. Yes. I saw something with bunnies today. Oh, Pookie posted in, what's that with the ghost? Snapchat. She's like, oh, and it was like 2 little baby bunnies were in her yard. I was like, oh, baby bunnies. Oh. I just really, Tucker hops, and I just really want a real baby bunny and Tucker to be like hopping down the road. Not down the road, but like through the grass. So cute. Okay, y'all. Without further ado, just to let you know if we have anybody new, which I don't think we do, but I'm going to say this anyway. If you're new, welcome. This is an open community where everybody is welcome to speak their feelings and to share their opinions. So we are respectful, and this is a great community, and I love it. So what we're going to talk about today is 10 random relationship facts. I put random because but it's really 10 vital relationship facts, and you need to have these 10 characteristics. These 10 characteristics are crucial for healthy relationships, and that is romantic relationships and friendships. So that's what we are talking about today, is just crucial things that you need for healthy relationships. And what I was saying is, if it's your first time, if you have any questions when I'm talking, feel free to stick them in the comments right here. Tell me your questions. And we love to celebrate having a light bulb moment. So if you have a light bulb moment, I just thought of that actually. If you have a light bulb moment, we'd love for you to put light bulb in the comments, and you can find that in your emojis just by typing the word light. It should pop up. So if you have a light bulb moment, we'd love for you to stick the light bulb in the comments so we can celebrate with you that you have had a breakthrough. Because that's what life is about, is having breakthroughs and becoming better people. That's what we want. So here we go. That's why I do this, y'all, is because I want us to make sure that we are being the best people that we can be, and that we are loving those people around us in healthy and good ways. And also that we are teaching the generations that are below us healthy relationship patterns as well. So I want to make sure if you grew up in a situation where maybe it wasn't that healthy or it wasn't that good, and you kind of went out of that situation, I want to be here to help you learn healthier habits that you can teach your kids and your family and your friends. Okay, so here we go. Okay, number 1 relationship fact. Relationships take work. Okay, so relationships take work. Honestly, this one's not my favorite, but I thought it's important to start on. It's not my favorite because it's not flashy and fun, but it's so true. And if you're not working in your relationship, if you're not putting in the work of your relationship, it's going to show. Because, and another reason this one wasn't my favorite is because I think too often people abuse this line. I think that they say, oh, relationships take work. Okay? And the way that, here we go. Yeah, I was like about to go off topic, and then I was like, no, stick to the script, Megan. And if you're wondering why I keep looking away, it's my laptop is right here. That's where all my notes are. So anyway, the reason I don't like relationships take work is because I think that people abuse and misuse this line often. And what I mean by that is, yes, relationships do take work, but they are not one-sided. And if they are one-sided, if relationships are one-sided, whether it's friendships or dating relationships, then you're going to be miserable. And there's a problem, and it's not healthy. Because relationships are two-sided. Both parties have to make an effort. So when I say relationships take work, I mean that you must try. You must try. And also, what I want to say that I don't believe in here is when people are like, oh, relationships take work, that's why it's so hard. There's a difference between a hard relationship and an abusive relationship, okay? And the two should not be confused. There's a big difference there. So, okay. I wanted to see if I'm going to talk about that. And I'm actually not. It's not in there. So we are going to talk about it right now. Yes, I'm going to say this again. Yes, relationships take work. But if you find that every time you leave the person you're in a relationship with, whether that's romantically or a friendship, if you find that every time you leave them, you are just exhausted and you feel horrible about yourself and you feel like a small little ant and you just feel sick to your stomach and you have all these horrible feelings, then I would say that's probably not a healthy situation, okay? Does that make sense? Can I get a thumbs up if you're tracking with me? That's not a healthy situation. That's not a just, oh, well, let's just pull up our bootstraps and do it, work harder. No, that's not good. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay. There we go. Okay, and so one of the ways that I mean when I say relationships take work is you need to be willing to work for your partner, work for your friends. So learn your friends and your partner's love language. Don't let it stop at just knowing your partner's love language. Learn your friends. And if you don't know your love language, then you can go to the link in my profile after we're done today and check out some of the blogs I wrote. Just click blog and you can check out some of the blogs I wrote on love languages. Okay, also another way to work in your relationship is make time for your relationships. Make time for them. Friends, family, like friendships, partnerships. Enjoy whatever you're about to watch on TV. Christopher shut me in here. Make time for the people that you love, okay? That's another way you work for your relationships. Be kind to them. Just try. I want you to remember that showing common decency is important. And then there's also more to that. There'll probably be some type of conflict between you and the person you're in a relationship with. At some point, there will probably be a conflict. And Don't just throw in the towel when hardships come. I'm going to lean in, okay? Don't just throw in the towel when hardships come in your relationship life, okay? Because hardships will be there, okay? Hardships being a disagreement, feeling embarrassed because you messed up. Okay, don't just leave a friendship or leave a relationship because you're embarrassed that you messed up. It's okay. A healthy, strong relationship will be able to last through that. Remember that disagreements happen. And something that I have learned recently from some people that have been talking to me is that I have seen so many friendships fall apart with one disagreement. They have one disagreement and then they're like, boom, we're not friends anymore. And I'm just like, what? And so I ask you, is this person not worth it to you? Do you not want to keep trying? Like, you had one disagreement. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about later how you don't have to agree on every single thing to be friends or to be a partner to someone, okay? We're going to talk about that. Actually, disagreeing and holding different opinions might even make you a better person. Okay. So I learned recently, and I know this was a thing, especially kind of around college age kids, I'm like bright lighting myself here. It's like you have your first disagreement and then you totally end the friendship, write that person off. And so I said that. And then here's a little sass for you. If you were constantly, so I said you had one disagreement with a friend and you totally wrote them off and you're like, we're not friends anymore. And I ask you, if you are constantly surrounding yourself with people you 100% agree with, then you are never going to grow. And honestly, you may be in a cult. Just saying. If you 100% agree with everybody who's around you, you might be in a cult. Get out. Send help. That's bad. There is no growth. Yes. Okay, number 2. This is specifically for marriage. Thank you, Wendy. This is specifically for marriage, okay? And you can definitely apply it to friendships, but here's one for marriage. Have marital daily check-ins. I'm going to say that again. Have marital daily check-ins. So in your marriage, have daily check-ins. Y'all, I might be about to blow your mind with stuff, okay? I am going to have you tell me if you knew this or not in a minute. So just like you would have to check in with your boss or your coworkers, something that you go to every day, that's what this is, okay? So just like you check in with your boss or your coworkers to make sure everyone is on the same page and everyone is working towards the same goal, we're going to do that with our spouse. Because why wouldn't we? Why would we go to work and do all these check-ins and do these little memos and do these little reports to tell everybody how we're doing and how we're coming along with the goal, but then we go home and we don't check in with our spouse? Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate when I yawn on these things. I'm sorry, y'all. I believe that so many marital issues occur because one person feels or is left out of the loop. So one person feels left out of the loop or one person really is left out of the loop. That's why a lot of marital issues occur. And it's just because they feel left out. It goes all the way back to childhood. People don't want to be left out. Okay? Your spouse doesn't want to be left out. And so often this may be an innocent mistake where one spouse thought they told the other. And then sometimes they just stop talking to each other and they just leave their spouse out of the loop of everything. And I'm not saying that spouses have to do everything together and like they're being left out and they're sad they don't get to go. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that sometimes a spouse is waiting at home for their partner because they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to dinner. Well, their partner forgot to tell them they're going out with their girlfriends for dinner and they're not coming home. Well, that partner is like, wait, what? It's not that they wanted to go out with the girlfriends. It's that they thought they had plans with their spouse, you know? And so that's what I'm talking about here. You gotta keep it in the loop. So more times than not, when couples come to me, so I think most of you know, but I do premarital counseling, but I also have started I do marital counseling as well. For some of my couples, I've done premarital counseling for. So if I've worked with you in premarital counseling, I will do some early marital counseling stuff. So more times than not, when my couples come back to me with relationship issues, it stems from a lack of communication. Okay, communication is key. And that is going to be a definite pattern tonight. So it stems from a lack of communication. This is what I want. You guys are about to interact with me, okay? This is what I want to ask you. So you would be amazed how many married people... I'm so sorry. You'd be amazed how many married people just go through the motions and don't actually have real conversations with their spouse each day, even though they live in the same house, okay? So no matter if you've been married 10 months, 10 years, 35 years, make sure that you are talking to your spouse daily. Yes, that's what I said. Talk to your spouse daily. That is literally my biggest advice right now. Talk to your spouse daily. Y'all, tell me yes or no in the comments. Yes, you knew this, or no, you did not. Did you know that a lot of people who have been married for a while, it can vary, the time doesn't matter. A lot of people literally don't have real conversations with their spouses. Hi, Christopher. Christopher's in the other room watching TV. Love him and listening. So I want you to say more than just pass the ketchup and what do you want to watch tonight? Talk to them. If you need help, okay, so talk to them. No, yeah, it blew my mind. I didn't realize that people, they can either it's not, they say, oh, we're just so comfortable, but really there's deeper issues. But literally, people can go through their day just saying like, hey, pass the ketchup. Hey, what do you want to watch on TV tonight? And literally, those are the only words they speak to each other once they come home from work. I have heard this in more couples than I can explain. So, they're not even speaking. And it's not even just older couples who've been married 30 plus years. These are younger couples too. They're not having conversations. So, y'all, if you are in this spot, if you were to the point where the only thing you're telling your spouse is, can you pass the ketchup, or what do you want to watch tonight? And that's the only conversation you all are having, then, and if you need help, then you need help reconnecting with your spouse, and knowing what to say to them, then message me. Message me and we can chat. Or go ahead and find a marriage counselor in your area and go to marriage counseling. And again, it doesn't show weakness. It's just that you don't want it to keep growing. If you are at the point where your communication is so minimal, it's usually going to take something drastic to get it to fix, okay? And a lot of times that's going to take a professional to help you get to the root of the problem and then fix it. We've made a habit to ask, how was your day? That's awesome. Yes, and if, for example, if you're two introverts living in a house together and you're married, then it might be a little bit harder it might be easier to just introvert and pull in and not talk, but it's really important. So yes, that's awesome. I almost called you Beauty, Blair. That's awesome, Blair. And then beyond, and then with how was your day, I want to jump in and talk about so many more things, but I've broken it all down so it's easier to digest for you all. So I'm like, trying to hold myself back so I don't tell you like what steps 6, 7, and 8 are. But yes, if you want to be able to feel confident and to feel safe that you can have a real conversation with your spouse, more than just pass the ketchup and what are we watching tonight. Clearly I need French fries because I keep talking about ketchup. I'm just saying. Okay, number 3, and important things to know about relationships is communicate your needs. Okay, this one is huge. And all these are tied together. And again, this is communication. It goes back to number 1. Yeah, it's number 1, right? Now we talked about relationships take work. But it goes back to communication. So many of these have aspects of communication in them. And that it links back to 2, right? Are we even talking to each other? So number 3, communicate your needs. I know I just harped on this, but it's so important. Communicate with your kids. Communicate with your friends. Communicate with your partner. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Communicate with your kids. Communicate with your friends. Communicate with your partner. You cannot expect people to read your mind. So if you need something, you have to tell someone. Again, this is hard, but you cannot expect, no matter how close you are to your BFF or how close you are to your spouse, you cannot expect them to read your mind. And so you have to tell them when you need something. I just felt like you all need to together. It's right here. Okay. If you know, okay, so here's an example. If you know, hey everybody, if you know you have a hard week ahead and you need support, then ask your friends and your partner for extra encouragement that week. Whatever that looks like for you. For me, that is, and I have done this before, for me, that looks like asking for daily encouragement texts saying, this is going to be a hell of a week. I don't know if I can make it through. So I need you to send me encouragement text. I need you to tell me it's going to be okay. And that could be maybe I say that to Christopher, or maybe I ask a friend. I just need encouragement. And so that's for me. And for you, if you have kids with your partner, that might be, hey, I'm having a really hard week this week. I know I've got all these meetings. I've got all this stuff. I've got school. I really need you to pick the kids up from daycare every day this week. I'm sorry. You know, it's expressing your needs, expressing what you need is really, really important. So communicate your needs. But we can't communicate our needs unless there is a base level of trust, right? So you got to trust that person to communicate your needs. So that could even be like, if you're like, well, I can't just ask for help from my spouse. Like, I can't do that. Well, then I ask, so if you can't do this, then there's something under here, right? And so you got to figure out what's under here, and that might be trust. Maybe you don't trust them. Like, what is it under there? What's the underlying issue? And again, if you need help figuring out an underlying issue, you can message me. Okay. Make sure your spouse and your friends, here's another thing. We're talking about love languages. It all goes together. Communication, love languages, knowing yourself, having the people who love you know you well. It's all really important. So make sure that your spouse and your friends know your love language. And then ask them to love you in that way. Just like I said, if I'm going to have a hard week, I'm going to ask my friends and Christopher to verbally encourage me, because words of affirmation is one of my highest love languages, right? So I'm going to ask for good text messages and sweet notes and cards. That's what fills me up. And maybe it's something else that fills you up. You've got to know what fills you up and makes you feel the most loved. So so you've got to tell your friends, tell your spouse what your love language is. And if you don't know your love language, again, thanks, Colvin. You can get one too. I think it's still in the store, Blue Jane Boutique. If you don't know your love language, you can head over to my blog. If you click the link in my profile, the Stressless Weddings link, if you click that, it'll say like you can do something, and then click blog and just scroll to the one that says love languages. And that should lead you to a love languages test you can take. Or you can Google it. Okay, number 4. Healthy relationships take compromise. Notice I said healthy. So, healthy relationships take compromise. Notice I said healthy. Many people can be in relationships, but that doesn't mean it's healthy. And y'all, we're going to talk about some really important stuff right here. We're going to get deep. So here we go. Again, if you have any questions, ask me in the comments. So many people can be in relationships, but that doesn't mean it's healthy. And some people are like, well, it was healthy at one time. Maybe not. Like, not all relationships have ever been healthy. Like, sometimes some relationships have been unhealthy the entire time. Sometimes relationships are healthy and then they become unhealthy. Sometimes relationships are healthy throughout. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes relationships can start out healthy and become unhealthy. Sometimes relationships are unhealthy the entire time. Sometimes relationships are healthy the entire time. And we're not talking about they don't go through ups and downs and they don't have fights. You can still be healthy and have ups and downs and fights, okay? But you fight fair and you're still healthy. There's no abuse and there's no manipulation. That's healthy, okay? Yay! You had a light bulb moment. Congratulations! Congratulations. And one more thing I wanted to say to that is I think some people think, oh, well, our relationship had to have been healthy at one time. And no, not always. Not always. Okay, so many people can be in relationships doesn't mean it's always healthy. We're going to talk more about that later, though, okay? So stay with me because we're going to talk more about healthy relationships. So when I ask you all, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I hope you will go right now and just click follow and follow me, and that would be awesome. Because I post in my stories. I post the stories every day, and I don't quite post in my little squares every day, but I am on stories all the time. So in stories, I ask you all some questions about today's topic. Sorry, Tucker's decided he wants to take over my couch, and he's making me sit funny. Okay, so when I ask you all, what was the hardest thing about having a partner, you not unanimously answered compromise. And you said it in different words. You didn't all say compromise. You said different things, but unanimously, you all answered compromise. Here are the ways that you said it. You said, learning to, so that, again, the question is, what's the hardest thing about having a partner? And you said, learning to merge your best lives, differences in expectations, choosing where to cook and what to cook. That was 2 different people. Constant compromise. You are no longer in control. Not being able to schedule my day the way I wanted. And trying to include them in things you used to do alone. So all of that is compromise. All of that is new stuff you have to do when you're in a relationship. So the biggest thing I take out of that is you are not alone. And it's hard for all of us. We want our way. And we're used to doing things alone often. Especially if you've been an adult for a while and you didn't go into a relationship younger. Like you've lived on your own for a little bit maybe before you have a spouse or a serious partner. You've been on your own for a little bit. So bringing someone else in is tough. And what you have to remember, and this is hard, but what you have to remember is in the hard times, you have to remember that you want that person there. Even if that means you have to give up your spot on the couch, watch a show you don't like, or eat a new food, or go to their favorite store instead of yours. Compromise is hard, but it's a vital part of a healthy relationship. And I just want to add this little piece here. This applies to friendships too. Often friendships happen because of common interest, but not always. Make sure that you are still compromising and not being the selfish friend in all of your friend groups. Here is number 5. Okay, does anybody have any questions on the top 4? We're doing number 5, and we are really getting a little therapist-y now, and I'm really excited about it. Okay, I'm going to put my little therapist hat on. It's a bonnet. I just decided. That'd be funny. What if I wear a bonnet? It'd have to like have a hole in the back for my messy bun. Christopher, put that on my gifts list. I need a bonnet with a messy bun hole. Just kidding, people. Just kidding. Hello. Welcome. Rev Cycling Club. Welcome. Okay. So number 5. You will repeat what you don't heal. I'm going to say it again. You will repeat what you do not heal. Here's what this means. Have you all heard that before? You can tell me yes or no in the comments. Have you heard those words before? I think I might have tweaked it a little. I think the official phrase might be a little bit different. But you will repeat what you don't heal. And what that means, I'm just going to break it down. Like what I'm saying is you're going to repeat the actions, the bad actions, if you don't heal them. Okay? No. Okay, awesome. I'm going to explain it. So it means you're going to repeat negative actions if you don't heal it. So, for example, if you always thought, oh my gosh, why can I not think of something? If you always thought tigers were purple and nobody ever told you any different, and you walked around saying tigers are purple with green stripes, like tigers are purple with green stripes, that's what, and I'm just assuming in this sense that we're going to say tigers are orange with black stripes, okay? I know there are white tigers, I know, but we're just assuming, okay, we're talking about an orange tiger with black stripes. But say that growing up somebody told you tigers were purple with green stripes and nobody ever corrected you, and you've never heard it said anything different, so you always thought, no, that's what they are. If nobody ever tells you anything different, and if you don't learn anything different, then how can you know anything different, okay? So you will repeat what you don't heal. So here we go. It wasn't the best example I've ever done, not my best metaphor, but I hope it'll help as we dive in here. So did you see bad relationships growing up? Maybe you saw bad relationships growing up. Maybe you only saw bad examples of friends. If you don't learn what leads to these bad habits or bad choices, then you will repeat the same negative patterns you witnessed growing up. Okay? So what I mean is, if you saw only abusive relationships growing up, then that is your normal. Okay? Just like if I grew up thinking tigers were purple, that's my normal. I think that's normal. Okay? And a lot of people in our world, they're not evil people or bad people, but if they grew up seeing abusive relationships, a lot of times they're going to repeat that abuse because they don't know any better. No one taught them better, and they didn't know they needed to go out and find better. Does that make sense? And do not hear me make excuse for abusers, because I am not. I am not making excuse for abusers and for the perpetrators here. I am not. But I'm trying to help you understand maybe where it came from, where the stuff stems from. And I also want, yay! And I also want you to think about the relationships that you witnessed growing up and the friendships that you witnessed, and decide if you think they're the caliber relationships and friendships that you want in your life. If they're not that caliber, then you want to retrain yourself on what to expect. Okay, so again, I'm going to repeat this part. So if you saw only abusive relationships growing up, then that is your normal. You have to make moves to get healthy. And it's not fair. Let me say that again. It is not fair, okay? It is not fair if all you saw was abuse growing up and now you have to work to get healthy. It's not fair. But it's true. Okay? You want to beat those patterns. You don't want to do that. So I encourage you to seek counseling. Seek good mentors. And surrounding yourself, retrain yourself on what to expect. Wow. Yes, retraining your expectations is huge. So, seeking counsel, good mentors, surrounding yourself with healthy relationships are all ways that can help you lead to your goal of not repeating the past. Okay? So, you're going to have to seek out healthy relationships. Seek out a therapist. Seek out a mentor. Seek out someone that is living a healthy life in relationships, healthy relationship life that you want to mimic. And that's how you're going to find that. So there is hope for everyone. There is hope. No matter what you thought a normal relationship should look like, you can retrain your brain to learn what a healthy relationship is. So there is hope for you. If you want to learn about healthy partnerships, I encourage you to read anything, blogs, books by Dr. John Gottman. That's Gottman. He has blogs, he has books, he has lots of stuff out there. You can just Google him, Dr. John Gottman. And he talks about healthy partnerships. So that's like a romantic relationship. He might talk about friendships sometimes too. Wendy said, yes, healthy relationships give you the strength to not go back to the toxic trends that were in your past. Yes. Everybody can have a new, fresh start. Everybody can. But it does take hard work. And that is what a lot of people aren't willing to do. And it's hard and it hurts. And there will be days where you want to quit. But it's worth it in the end, I promise. Okay. Now number 6. This one's a hard one. The first thing I said is, this is one of the harder ones to write. Number 6 is, it's okay to move on. It's okay to outgrow. Again, I'm talking about tips for relationships, right? It's okay to outgrow. It's okay to move on. When I ask you all what the biggest hurdle you face in growing strong, healthy friendships was, over a third of you all said something about outgrowing your friendships. One of my awesome followers said it well. She said one of the struggles, the biggest hurdles she faces in keeping friendship strong is keeping the relationship strong as you grow older and people change. Very succinct, very true. You grow older and people change. So in a time of Facebook and all things social media and instant, it's easy to stay in touch with people we actually haven't seen in real life for over a decade, okay? So we still know about people that we haven't seen in over a decade, but we know what color their new car is and how many kids they have. And okay, it's kind of weird if you think about it. This is uncharted territory that has never happened, okay? We can't look back at history and say, how did this go before? Because that's not a thing. People weren't keeping up with friends decades away unless they were writing letters, okay? Keeping up with friends from decades ago that lived far away unless they were writing letters. Okay. Or on the phone, obviously, you know. So a decade's a long time. Elementary school friends have likely changed their thinking pattern, or have likely changed their thoughts and beliefs on life in the last 20 years. I sure hope so. So yes, you may be able to pick up right where you left off when you see those friends you haven't seen in a decade or that you've known for 20 years. But you may have nothing in common with them. And that's okay. You can still love, listen close, friends. You can still love a person and be friends with them while recognizing their friendship is not going to be one that feeds your soul. You can still have a friendship with someone and recognize that their friendship is not going to be one that feeds your soul. So you will need to make other friends. So what do you do? If they're not feeding your soul, what do? You will need to make other friends who understand you and align with your thoughts. Yay, Lindsay, for your breakthrough. Yay, 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 Wendy. You will need to make other friends who understand you and align with your thoughts and likes and dislikes that you can spend time with and you can feed your soul with, okay? You can still love your friends, but they may be soul-sucking friends and not soul-giving friends. Yay, Blair! Amen. Amen. Yay, Lindsay. I love light bulb moments. Okay. And one follower said these words. When I ask about hurdles that they faced in friendship, one follower said something that people do often, but people often don't recognize they are doing it. She said, in a hurdle over friendship, she said bonding over trauma or a specific event and then outgrowing that season. So she's saying she bonded with a friend over trauma, but then she outgrew that trauma or that event, and she outgrew it, therefore outgrowing their friendship. You can still have friendships, but recognize that they will not feed your soul. Yes. Can you repeat that? Yes. Let me repeat that. Because I butchered it the second time I said it. After I said that, I thought, Wendy, I was like, that's one somebody needs to quote me on. Okay, hold on one second. What did I... Oh, there it is. Sometimes I'll write stuff and I don't realize how powerful it's going to be until we share it together. I'd love to quote it and share it with friends. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Okay, I said, you can still love a person and be friends with them while recognizing their friendship is not going to be one that feeds your soul. So you can still love a person and be friends with them while recognizing their friendship isn't going to feed your soul. So we just go find other friendships that feed our souls. Yay! Did you get it, Wendy? And if I need to, I'll send it to you after Instagram Live. Yay! Y'all, and I love that you tune in with me because I also have breakthroughs when I'm writing this stuff. I'm like, yeah. And sometimes I've been practicing this stuff for a decade. And then other times it's stuff I'm practicing in the last few months, that I'm working on too. Okay, so we're going to go back to this one. Asking about the hurdles we face in friendship. One of my followers said, one follower said, many people do this and they don't recognize they're doing it. They bond over trauma or a specific event and then outgrow that season. That's what we're talking about. So here's what I want to talk about. Zone in here. I think this goes back to when I have spoken about work friends or office friends. If the only thing you have in common with a friend is complaining about your boss or coworkers, then hanging out outside of work may be really tough because you don't really have anything in common except a mutual hatred or dislike. And then, is that something you want your friendships to be grounded in? So I'm going to say that again. If the only thing you have in common with a friend is complaining about your boss, complaining about your coworkers, if it's ugly, like complaining and like being ticked off, okay? If that's all you have in common with a friend is a common hatred, then what's your friendship based on first? You want to ask, is my friendship based on a common hatred? No, that might not be good. So, that's why sometimes I've seen this happen a lot. People are like, but we're such good friends at work. And then they go to hang out outside of work, and it's just really tough because they realize, okay, we have nothing in common outside of work except a mutual hatred for a coworker or our boss. So I just want to kind of challenge you with that. Base that on just that. Oh, that's happened to me before. A friend of mine only wanted to talk poop about a mutual friend that did me wrong and then stopped wanting to hang out and talk about other things. I never wanted to. Base just on that. And I just had to stop trying to reach out and beg for friendship. Yeah. Good call on that one, Wendy. Oh my, it's already 9:25. Hold on, I've got 4 more. We gotta go. Okay, number 7, be your authentic self. This is the really, really big one that I wanted to get to about you, for you all. It goes with communication and different things. Be your authentic self. So this applies to romantic relationships and friendships. And if you're asking, but I don't know who my authentic self is, then maybe you need to take some time to just be by yourself and learn yourself. Learn who you are. Learn who you want to be. You can always improve. Be who you want to be. Being fake would be exhausting, and I couldn't keep up with the lies. So I'm just saying. So being authentic is the easiest way, right? So choosing to be authentic is hard, though. Here's why it's hard. Here's an issue that we see in friendship and in romantic relationships is sometimes people struggle being authentic, okay? Well, here's why it can be tough. You must feel comfortable and safe in a relationship in order to be 100% authentic. I'm going to say that again. You must feel comfortable and safe in a relationship in order to be 100% authentic. So if you find yourself not being able to be fully yourself around certain people, it's because you don't feel safe around them. And if you aren't able to be yourself around your spouse, then it's time to see a therapist now. You want to be yourself in your own home. And if it's gotten to the point where you can't be yourself, it will only go downhill from there. Trust me. Sadly, you will not magically wake up one day and feel safe and secure to be authentically yourself. It will not magically change. If you're at the point in your relationship, in your romantic relationship, where you can no longer be your authentic self, then there is a level of mistrust. You don't feel safe. You don't feel secure. There is some underlying issue there. And you are not going to be able to be your authentic self until you get to that underlying issue. And the way that you get to that is through therapy with an outside party. That's one of those things you can't just talk out with your spouse. You're going to need an outside party, okay? So also, if you ever realize that like around certain groups of people, you don't feel comfortable to be your goofy self or yourself, it's because you don't feel safe to be yourself. I have felt this way in many situations where I didn't feel safe. Like they were not a safe person to be yourself because they were mean. I don't know a better way to say it. And it's sad when you have people in your mind, isn't it? Okay, number 8. listen. In romantic relationships and friendships, make sure that you listen. Don't give unwanted advice, and don't try to fix what is not broken. I'm going to say that part again. Don't try to fix what is not broken. Okay? Listening to our friends and spouses makes them feel loved and heard and important. And we all know those people who just give advice, but they don't actually ever listen to our true feelings, like what we're actually saying. And so what I've started doing with those people in my life that I have to interact with, maybe these aren't chosen friends, maybe these aren't chosen partners, maybe it's a family member. So if you have to deal with a family member and they are guilty of they don't do number 8, they don't listen, and they give unwanted advice all the time, and they're trying to fix things, then what I do, yay, Wendy, then what I do is I repeat back to them what they say to me sometimes. So like if I'm really struggling with something and they're like trying to fix it and they're like saying something and I'm like, okay, so you're telling me I need to blah, da, 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 and I just repeat it back just in a little bit different words, but exactly back what they said. They're like, well, no, I didn't say that. And I'm like, no, yeah, you did. You just said it. You just repeat it back to them. It's a counseling technique. You just repeat back what they said. So that's one way to get them to stop. But make sure you're not that person. Listen and don't give unwanted advice. And it's okay to say, do you want my advice? It's okay to ask that. Number 9, respect. That probably should have been number 1. But in all relationships, romantic and friendships, respect is up there. Realize that it is okay to disagree with your friends. All friends won't hold the same political, spiritual, and life beliefs. In fact, it's probably really good to have a variety of friends. It's harder, but it makes you a more well-rounded person to have a variety of friends on the political, spiritual, and life spectrum. Okay? But you must respect your friends and your spouse. Okay? If you have friends and they have different political and spiritual beliefs than you, and they don't respect your beliefs, like, at all, and I'm not saying you go to these friends and you're like, we have to be able to have political conversations. We have to talk about politics and religion. We have to. We all know those are divisive topics, okay? So, but say something comes up and they can't even like respect the fact that you have another opinion, then I want you to ask yourself, is that a healthy friendship? Active listening. Good job, Wendy. Ask yourself if that's a healthy friendship. Because you must show respect to your friends and spouse, even if you don't agree with everything they say. And number 10, love them fully for who they are. This goes back to love languages and know their authentic self and listen to them. Okay, it all goes together. In number 10, it all culminates together. And love them fully for who they are. Realize that you will disagree with your partner and you will disagree with your friends, but love them anyway. Express your love verbally and through actions, okay? Make sure you're expressing your love in all the ways. Y'all, I have 1 minute and 27 seconds left, so I gotta go. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. There's Tucker's bow tie. He's got to be a gentleman. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Again, you can, this Dog Mom shirt is from Blue Jane Boutique. Highly recommend. Thank you all so much for joining. You can catch this video. If you missed it, you can catch this on my YouTube channel. You just click the link in my profile and then click YouTube. Any of the YouTube videos will take you there. Thank you so much for learning about healthy friendships and relationships. Y'all, give yourself grace this week, and I hope that you will love yourself, because if you love yourself, then you'll have more love to give to others, and we all need a little more love in this world. Great conversations tonight. Needed to hear a lot of that. Yay! Love you, Blair. And as always, y'all, you can message me. If you have any questions, message me, and you can watch this as many times as you want up on YouTube. And one of the favorite ways somebody told me they watch it is when they're getting ready, they're putting their makeup on in the morning, they just turn them on and listen. So there you go. Just listen to me like a podcast. Love y'all. Bye. Say bye, Tucker.